The woman held a piece of white paper. On it were two C's. Then she tore the paper in half and crossed the two C's back to back. Does this look familiar? That's the logo of the luxury fashion brand Chanel, and the woman was none other than the fashion icon Coco Chanel. But before all that, Chanel was just an ordinary tailor nobody believed in. After leaving her life as a dame, Chanel came to Paris alone. She rented a tiny apartment and started her business. Here was filled with her hat designs, but every day she was visited not by customers but her landlord demanding rent. Out of money, Chanel had no choice but to give up her hats as collateral.
But it costs 50 francs.
Only if someone is prepared to pay it.
And she pawned the only valuable thing she had left, a shawl. But that little bit of money wasn't enough to survive in Paris. Then an old friend Bowie came to visit. Back at the estate, Bowie had admired Chanel's hats, calling her talent that turned the ordinary into extraordinary. When they met again, Chanel had a small studio, but as luck would have it, debt collectors from the court showed up at her place. Bowie stepped in and paid off her debts. Even when she was flat broke, Chanel never thought about giving up. Her determination moved Bowie. He rented a storefront, Chanel designed, and Bowie funded it. That's how her hat shop finally opened. At the grand opening, Bowie invited his friends, socialites from high society. They acted polite on the surface, but secretly, they looked down on her.
She's just a little money grabber, an uneducated seamstress.
This instantly hit Chanel hard. She knew they were only there for appearances and probably wouldn't return to buy anything. So Chanel decided to open up the market herself. She personally delivered her hats to famous movie stars. Photos of the stars wearing her hats appeared in magazines, and fans flocked to her store for the same styles. Before long, customers were pouring in non-stop. She sold hats until her hands were sore, but her wealth alone didn't give Chanel the respect she deserved. Bowie took her to socialite gatherings, but her name never made it onto the guest list. Chanel turned and walked away. She knew the only way to be recognized was to be stronger. Bowie proposed to her, but Chanel rejected him without hesitation.
But I'll only marry you when I'm no longer dependent on you.
You are so proud. You will suffer.
She went to the beach to clear her head, watching men playing freely on the sand in simple clothes. She couldn't figure out, why couldn't women be just as free? That's when Chanel had a bold idea, entering the clothing industry.